This is a diesel train. There are several different makes now in use, and some of them differ in details and in performance, for we are learning from experience and still developing them. However, they are all, generally speaking, very much like each other. Diesel trains are cheap to run and have a good performance. They are adaptable to traffic conditions, as at peak periods, 2 or 3 sets can be quickly coupled together. It is powered with 2 engines. Starting is simple, but even more impressive is the acceleration from rest. In a very short time, you reach 40 miles an hour. Development of different types and changes in the apparatus are inevitable, but a clear understanding of the basic principles will help a man to become a good diesel train driver. We are going to take a diesel train into service. First, collect the controls. The brake handle, the reversing lever, the door keys, and the control circuit switch key. These are kept in the satchel when not in use. Make sure that there are no not-to-be-moved boards or red flags on the train before you get in. Insert the control circuit key and turn it on. At the same time, switch on the lights for the 2 indicators. As this train has been standing all night, it has to be fully prepared. On arriving at the first engine, check the fuel level in the tanks. Release the button immediately the engine starts. When it does fire, ease the throttle in and out gently, but do not race the engine. The throttle must be held open until the engine will run at idling speed. Release it gently and see if the engine does continue to run. Start the second engine in the same way as the first. It should only be necessary to use the hand throttle to overcome the coldness of the engine, and don't race it. Check the detonator canister. There should be one in each cab. The rear destination indicator must correspond with the front one, and its light must be switched on. Now release the handbrake. The train is now ready to move. While awaiting the guard signal, release the brake a little until about 15 inches is registered. That is sufficient to hold the train. On receiving the 2 buzzes, select first gear and then release the brakes altogether. Now, after the 2-second pause, is the time to open the throttle notch by notch. If you don't pause, you may cause damage in the gearbox. Throttle back. Here's the point to select the gear. Pause, 1, 2, and open the throttle notch by notch. Incidentally, never use force on the driving controls. It's pointless, since most of them operate electrically. These trains run very quietly, and it is important to remember this as you drive. A two-tone horn is fitted, and both tones should be used to give warning one after the other, and for the same length of time, to avoid confusion with the sound of car horns. Warning of your approach should be given where there is poor visibility, and of course to warn people working on the track. They are instructed to acknowledge your horn as soon as it is heard. Whenever you reach the maximum speed required, throttle back and the train will coast along economically with the engines idling. Make sure you always coast in top gear. A distance signal is against the train. Partial brake application is necessary. As the home signal comes off, release the brake. You will notice that the train has lost a lot of speed. The station and the end of the run are in sight. But you are still in third gear. As we said earlier, it is important to coast in top gear. So, although you are about to brake, throttle back, engage fourth gear, and let the engine idle. The brakes on these trains are very powerful, and care and skill is necessary in handling the brake to make a smooth, comfortable stop for the passengers. Just before stopping, put the gear lever into neutral. This driver is going to give up charge of the train for a short time. He must first stop the engines, put on the handbrake, remove the reversing lever and brake handle, and lastly, the control circuit switch key. These diesel trains run very well when properly driven and maintained. But faults and failures do occur. Now, don't be frightened. Failures only occur one at a time, usually. If you think things out systematically, it's all pretty straightforward. Let's go back and see what first happened to our friend. He was driving along happily enough when, good heavens, number 2 engine light has gone out. This could be serious. No. Do not try to start the engine again while the train is still running. The throttle is wide open and the engine is still in gear. Besides, you should inspect the engine before trying to restart it. You've no idea what may have happened. At the first convenient stopping place, go and have a look at it. Remember to destroy the vacuum, stop the other engine, and make sure the compartment door is locked. You don't want some inquisitive schoolboy fiddling with the controls. Try starting it from the local panel. No good. Something really is wrong. Yes, the oil is low.
The train must be drawn up to clear the platform ramp. As a check, you must always see that the cardan shaft is free to revolve, like this. Whenever you have a failure like this, brief details must be reported at once to the depot through a signalman or a member of a station staff so that necessary action can be taken there. Our friend is on his way again. It could happen to you, and you must be able to act as Walter has done. Oh, and it was so early too. This train had been stabled away from the depot overnight. Hello, something wrong here. First check on the main battery switch. No, it's still in the on position. But Walter is not done for yet. He will have a try to regain control from the rear cab. Ah, there's a light this end, which means the controls in the front cab are probably working too. No, it will not move unless the reversing lever is properly in place. In fact, there is very little you can do with a train unless it is. Now to start up again. Walter goes on his way again. Let's see how our other friend, Mike Jones, is doing today. He doesn't seem completely happy. I wonder what's the matter. Yes, something is worrying him. Wheel spin? No, it can't be that. Dry rails and slight downgrade. But change up from second to third gear is certainly not 20 miles an hour. Must be gearbox trouble. For the time being, throttle back and engage the next highest gear, in this case, gear 3. At the next stopping place, try to correct the fault. It's a slipping annulus brake band. Not so formidable as it sounds. Up to second gear. Things seem to be all right now. Yes, that's the right change-up speed from second to third gear. The brake band wear adjuster has done its job and everything is working correctly again in the gearbox. If you should ever hear any unusual noises or vibrations from the engines, stop them for your own safety and check up on the cause. Good heavens, fire! Don't stop the train on a bridge or other unsuitable place. This is all right here. Seems to be all right. Slowly does it. Notice that no air light is showing. The isolation of any final drive is the only occasion when you are allowed to run without the air light showing.
There's another train standing on the opposite line. I wonder if... Yes, it is Walter. Stuck again.
And the rest of the normal service can carry on uninterrupted. Siding for miles, not a hope of clearing the running lines. Only one thing for it.
Now what? Oh, yes. I wonder if he'll do it. If it drops below 50, the dogs won't move free. Good old Mike, he's done it.
and with little enough to spare. Oh, they've sent Mike a steam engine. Only the screw coupling and vacuum train pipe can be connected. Now the train is ready to move, but cautiously and at a reduced speed. The diesel train driver must now ride in the leading cab and signal to the driver of the steam locomotive whenever necessary. But suppose a diesel train turned up to assist instead. It looks like, why, it is Walter. He's got himself another type of train too. I wonder what he's done with the other. Oh, never mind. Cheerio, Mike. Cheerio, Walter. And a better day tomorrow.
才能ないけどさ。才能ないけど。あとちょっとだけさ。あとちょっとだけ。あとちょっとだけ行きたいな。